Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here. So the Washington Commanders just traded up and drafted edge rusher out of Clemson, KJ Henry, with their 5th round pick. So we're going to break that down in today's video. If you guys are new, just subscribe. It takes 1 second. It's free and it helps out a ton. And hit that like button and that notification bell as well. So let's get right into it. So they traded up. First draft trade that they made. I thought maybe they would trade back earlier on, but they decided to trade back or trade up, and they traded 150 and 215, which I think someone said is their 6th round pick for pick 137. So they traded up 13 spots and gave up a 6th or 7th round pick. Not terrible, not terrible, because those 6th and 7th round picks usually don't amount to much besides like Cameron Crewell. But that was the COVID year where a lot of the players were devalued who would have been higher ranked if they actually went through with the draft process. So let's get into KJ Henry. Pretty athletic overall. His RAS score is 8.39, so pretty high up there. There's a couple things that they don't like about him in terms of the algorithm. The weight, 251, is pretty low. Height is pretty solid. Vertical leap could be a little bit better, and broad jump could be better. 40-yard dash is elite. 20-yard split is elite, and so is the 10-yard split. All those things are good, and his arm length and hand size are pretty good as well. So he's pretty athletic. Could add some weight, which is a common theme with some of these players we have drafted. Let's go over some of his stats. And edge rusher was a position of need heading into this draft, so I'm glad they addressed it. This guy is the highest edge rusher they've drafted since Chase Young. 5th round pick, a high 5th round pick, and they need some help there in terms of, well, who knows where Chase Young and Montez Sweat will be next year. I think one of them will be back for sure, but the other, who knows. And a lot of those rotational guys that they have behind them are free agents, and they'll be able to keep some of them, maybe like Casey Toole or James Smith-Williams. But KJ Henry will come in and be able to compete for a spot as a rotational edge rusher. He's going to make the team, obviously, because they did spend a 5th round pick on him, but we'll see how much he actually plays year 1. But I'm excited to see what he can do. So sack production isn't amazing. He did play 5 years, which I think, who else did? Jartavius or Quan Martin played 5 years as well. Last year, they loved to pick the guys that played 4 or 5 years. And yeah, sack production isn't amazing. Highest sack total is 4.5 in 2021. In 2022, though, had like 51 tackles, 3.5 sacks, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery. So, and also batted down 6 passes, which is very, very good. So the numbers aren't outstanding, but they had some good guys there too. I believe Miles Murphy and Brian Brisset, I think that's how you pronounce his name. They had some good rushers there as well. So, it was hard for him to get all the sack production, but you'd like to see a little bit more. But again, we're in that 5th round pick range. So, you're not going to get these elite prospects in the 5th round range unless they have off the field issues or concerns. So, draft grade, Lance Zierlein had him projected in the 4th to 5th round. So do not think this is a reach. NFL comparison is Lorenzo Carter. We talked about the athleticism, 4.6, 340. You could see the vertical jump. Athleticism score isn't great. I think if you don't do some of these things, it makes it lower. So that's probably why it's 31st when RAS has him pretty high. So just something I thought I would mention right there. But let's go back to this. Yeah, athleticism is pretty good. 4.6 is very fast, very quick, but he's going to have to put on a little bit of weight. 250 is very low, or, very light for an edge rusher. You'd like to see him at, at least like 255 before the season starts. I mean, I wouldn't say very, very light, but, ideally, you would like him to be 260, 265, and maybe he will be down the line. But, round 4 to 5 player, or that's its projection. Overview, highly athletic edge rusher with good size. In terms of his height, Henry has upfield burst, but he tends to be a face-up rusher and will need to improve his hand usage for more effective corner turns. He can be dynamic when twisting and blitzing as a movable piece around the defensive front, and he does a nice job of setting up a buttery smooth inside rush that is often too quick for tackles. He can dart and disrupt as a one-gapper with his hand in the ground, but has more trouble than expected in setting firm edges as a run defender. His strengths and weaknesses are well defined with the upside to become a starter. I would love if you can get a starter at the edge rush position in the 5th round. That is amazing. I'm not even looking for that. If we get that, that's amazing. If we can get a guy that is a really solid rotational guy that, hey, if you need to start him, you can, but ideally you don't, that would be good. But if he's a starter, that is great. If he's an okay, even a below average starter, that's good for 5th round at a premium position. Some of his strengths and weaknesses you guys can see here. Overall, again, this is kind of like, I'll give it a B plus grade. These last 3 picks, these last 3 picks have been really solid at positions of need and not too much of a reach. So still think we need a linebacker. We have not invested in the linebacker position at all. But, we did, help out this team a lot with getting some positions of need. And yeah, we'll see what they do remaining. They have a few more picks. We'll see if they go linebacker, quarterback, kicker, tight end. Zach Kuntz out of ODU is still available. So a lot of ways they could go, but I am excited. So if you guys enjoy the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and still got undrafted free agents today. We got a long way to go. Peace, guys.